Hey guys, welcome back to Dad's Foxbody Garage. Just out here messing with the cars. It's Monday evening, and wanted to show you something. First, I'll tell you a little story. So, yesterday evening, my wife and I went down Woodward. You know, it's a little bit before the Dream Cruise. They just had roadkill nights down there. And kind of curious on what the layout was and everything, so we went out for a nice cruise. It was a little bit warm. You know, it was probably around dinner time. And stormtrooper was running a little hot. Took the stormtrooper. Well, hot inside and the engine, because I don't have the AC fixed yet. I installed the classic air kit, but something's not right. The system's not sealed. So anyway, engine was running not on the hot. It was like, usually runs like right in the middle, right? Like 180, 190, somewhere in there. And yesterday it was more like 200, 210, right? So I'm like, well, that's different. I don't remember it being like that last year. You know, I haven't really driven it on the freeway much this year, but we took, you know, the freeway out, and it does have 410, so it does create a little bit of heat when you're tacking 2600 RPM. But it was just struggling to cool down. So I got home, and I compared the clutch fan on the Stormtrooper versus the new one that I put on Calypso. And it was night and day. Very free spinning on Stormtrooper. Calypso, you could tell there was a lot of resistance. And I remember back in Calypso out of the garage, you know, it throws dust up everywhere, where Stormtrooper not so much. So NPD, you know, they're an awesome resource. I've said it a million times. And they're just in Canton, so you know, 10-15 minutes from my house. They had clutch in stock, and I figured, oh, while I'm there, I might get a thermostat, 160 thermostat, because that's what I have in Calypso. And I don't know if it's the heads or the whole combination, but Calypso runs really nice and cool. It's like, you know, 165, like whether you're beating on it or not. So anyway, picked up a new clutch and thermostat and gasket from NPD, and pulled everything apart, or not everything, but pulled the shroud out, as you can see there, and the fan out of the Stormtrooper. And I'm going to spin this around so I can show you what I'm talking about here. So here's the old one. You know, there's resistance on it, but that's really easy to turn. This one, you know, you can hardly turn it without turning the whole base. Significantly stiffer. But look at what I found on this guy here. This is the fan I took off. Look at these cracks. You know, I guess I should have bought a fan when I was there also, the fan itself, but all across this thing there's these fractures. Down in here. You know, I'm really glad. I mean, look at this area. It is just fracture after fracture after fracture. Can you imagine, you know, revving this sucker up? You know, going down. Look at this one. This one's almost broken off. Revving that puppy up down Hines, or getting on and off the freeway or something, and having that fan take out your radiator, or, you know, come up at your hood or something. I mean, that would have been bad news. So hopefully NPD has fan in stock, because I really wanted to get that back together, because you know, Dream Cruise is right around the corner, and this is the time to drive, I'll tell you. Not a ton of cars down there. It was neat to see the roadkill venue. You know, the whole street was just black with rubber. It was on the southbound side of Woodward, just south of the loop, and it just smelled like rubber, you know, as you drove through it and stuff. It was fun. But, yeah, I'm going to try to get the a fan if not tomorrow, the day after. Was really hoping to drive Stormtrooper down on Thursday, but that's probably not a good plan to put that back together like that, because once you start messing with something, it could go sideways quick. Sorry about Shelby, he's doing his job over there, protecting us. So what else did I do today? Oh, did some research on trying to figure out what that burble was on Calypso, up around 4,500, 5 grand, whatever that was the other day when Kevin and I went out and came across an article about supercharging, and it was about spark plug gap. And to be honest, I really didn't even check the gap on these when I put them in. They look consistent. I couldn't find my spark plug checker, so I threw them in there. Come to find out today that they were around 46 thousandths ish, 46 to 50 thousandths actually. So I closed the gap down to 40, and we're going to see how that goes. I also wrote down what number plug I'm running, because that article also talked about running a 1 number colder plug. They said get 1 and 2 number, you put the 1 in, run it, see how they look, and pull it out, and then put the 2 plugs colder in there and see if those start coming out oily. If they do look a little blacker, then go ahead and put the 1 heat number back in. But if the 2 heat numbers look okay, run with those, just to prevent any kind of pre-ignition or anything like that, I guess. So something to play around with anyways. It's easy enough, you know, at least on this car. Now that I'm fortunate to have the normal spark plug angle versus those P heads I had, that you can take the plugs out of this thing in, 10 minutes. But other than that, everything's going okay, car wise. Really nice ride in Stormtrooper. I think this winter I'm going to look into getting someone to look at the AC, and I'd like to do something with the trans, just freshen it up. But for now, I really do enjoy just driving it. It's a beautiful car. It looks great on the inside now that the inside's been re-dyed. So probably the primary work is still going to be focused on Calypso here, and talking to my buddy, working around his schedule with his kids and family and everything. Of course, that all comes first, and obviously my family too. But we're going to get it out there on the hoist one of these days, and we're going to tack a lot of stuff up from under the underside. We're going to do subframe connectors, and I'd like to see about tightening up the front end a little bit, maybe some control arm bushings, and some ball joints. And I really would like to, while I do all that, I'd like to find someone with a set of springs, reasonably priced set of springs. I've been seeing them on Marketplace for about the same price as new. I don't understand why people do that when you can go to LMR and get them for 200 bucks. Why are you trying to sell them on Marketplace for 200 bucks? But anyhow, while I have the front end apart, I'll just do that. Try to bring the front end up a little bit. Get rid of some of that bump steer. It's a nuisance when you get out of the throttle. I know I could get the bump steer kit and all that stuff, but it's just too low. I only have 2 inches of travel, like I said in the last video. Really like to get that more like 4. 3 or 4 anyways. That's it for now. Basically, I wanted to just show you that fan, and even if you just look at it quick, when it's on the car, I would have never saw that, until I got it off. So anyone out there running a stock fan, take a good hard look, man. Get in there with a flashlight and look down in this area here, this down in between these areas. Yeah, look at that thing. I mean, they're really, the fans are inexpensive, and honestly, to pull the shroud off, you take the 4 bolts out of the water pump, you loosen the tensioner. I mean, it wasn't a half hour, you know, doing to get that far. So cheap insurance, and you know, replacing that clutch is a really good idea anyways. You know, these things that when you're driving, you know, that fluid's breaking down, you know, from the day it drives out of the factory, you know. And just picking up another one, you know, I really think that's going to help out. Probably wouldn't even have to do the thermostat, but I got it. Maybe I'll do it this winter, see how this goes, just to get it on the road before, you know, the end of the dream cruise and everything. You know, it'll take me another, well, once I get the fan, 30 minutes and I'm back on the road. So but I did get antifreeze for both cars, because now the Calypso is in good shape and not having any issues. All the plugs look great. I'm going to drain the water out and put in antifreeze, and you know, she'll be ready. You know, she's ready to drive. It's just a little stuff, putting the interior back together. You know, I'm looking for some seats, some nice seats, convertible seats. So they got to have the seatbelt bracket on them. I don't care if they're from a Mustang or not. Obviously Mustang would be easiest to go in, but something comfy, and something preferably not cloth, because you know, I just want something that keeps clean. But yeah, start making the interior a little nicer place to be, and getting the windshield fixed this week, hopefully. You know, round number 2, we'll see if it works. But other than that, guys, I just want to thank you again for watching. Like and subscribe. Everything you guys do helps me out in that way. Comments are great. Really like the comments, and thanks to everybody for sending me nice comments about, you know, my dad passing. I really appreciate it. He was a good man. Well, he was a great man. So you know, having these conversations back and forth with you and my friends and everything, it's really, like I said, it's kind of therapeutic, you know, just like working on cars. So I really appreciate you. And again, if you guys would like any merch, t-shirts or stickers, please reach out. We'll be at the car show, the Southeast Michigan Mustang show this weekend, and I will have some t-shirts and a few stickers, and I think I also have some Foxbody model cars I'll have there. So look forward to seeing you guys there. Stop on by and say hi. Alright guys, thanks a lot. Bye. Well, it's a new day after work, and just wanted to wrap this series up and show you the finished product here. So what I ended up doing last evening was actually went inside and found the fan on an NPD's catalog, gave them a call, had it in stock. I had 40 minutes to get there before they closed. Grabbed the fan. It's cheap. It's cheap insurance to put a new one on, guys. It's really cheap. Picked it up, got it home, had it all back together within 30 minutes. Probably not even that long. A friend of mine came over and you know, it was already done. So again, hope this helps it run a little cooler. I believe it will. It's a big difference in new clutch to old clutch, and I imagine that only gets worse as the engine heats up, you know, as you get more heat in the engine bay. But big difference when you start it up, you know, leaves start blowing out of the garage, you know, and you know, makes a big difference. You can tell already. So that's it. Not like a really big how-to or anything like that. It's pretty self-explanatory. take the shroud off and take the fan off, they slide out together. Replace the clutch and or fan, slide it back together as a unit, tighten it up, and put tension back on the belt, and you're good to go. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.